YouTube, we're back. Mono white Death and Taxes, a Spiderspace one here. At the beginning of this month, we did ask for some interest in list, and actually Taxes, other than Red Prison, was one of our highest requested ones. Now, no one really said if they wanted Eldrazi Taxes, red-white Taxes, green-white Taxes, or whatever. So we're going to just take straight mono-white Taxes, one from Spiderspace, the tax master, if you will, and see how we run. Once again, thank you all for the support there in September and continuing the support here in October. We hope you share these videos and enjoy them. With that being said, let's get to the deck tech. Mono white, Death and Taxes. Now, before we get too far into this, let me say this. Legacy-wise, I was always interested in Death and Taxes, Rishon reports, and so on and so forth, with Aether Vials and just little tiny creatures that cause some disruption, and this list definitely fits that role. We'll have to be careful on some of the sequencing here, but generally speaking, we're looking to beat down our opponents and take away things from them. A little bit like a prison list, so I feel fairly comfortable here, and hopefully we can have a good set of matches for you all watching. Death and Taxes, though, specifically looks at the namesake card, Thalia, Guardian of Thraben. I say the namesake because this is a taxing card. It costs more to cast non-creature spells, and you'll notice we generally have non-creature spells. Sorry, we have creature spells. Opponents potentially have non-creature spells. So Thalia here is going to prevent some of that. We even have Archon of Emeria, which does interesting things. Taxing effects usually make lands come into play tapped. They can make things cost more. They make things difficult to play on curve. And we're planning to do that. Now, like Taxes, because you're trying to do stuff at the cheap side of things, but also have some of your mana available because now your Path to Exile, for example, is more expensive. You have the card Aether Vial. So Aether Vial is going to bring in Thalias, Stone Forges, Leonin Arbiters, which is a taxing card, Flicker Wisp, which is an excellent protection card, but also interacts with opponents, and of course, the most latest edition, Skyclave Apparition, which I think if you're not in tune with this card doing some crazy things, get on board. Because we're in the white realm and because Stoneforge Mystic is unbanned, Sword of Fire and Ice, Batterskull make an appearance here. We also have a Maul of the Skyclaves, a new card, and I like how the direction's going. ETB attached to a creature for equipments. That's the way you're not having to pay the equipment cost. Sideboard, we have things for red. We have some Mark of the Asylum, which is a bit of a newer card here. This is preventing all combat damage from creatures to your own creatures. So you can swing in, and if they defend in some fashion, you can basically fog it a little bit. Rest in peace for the Graveyard, Winds of Abandon for removing creatures, and Mirran Crusaders for protection from black and from green, which could be very relevant in our current meta. Mono white, Death and Taxes here in Modern. Let's see how we do. This is a YouTube requested one, and we've got it here for you as a YouTube exclusive. Enjoy. We'll see you in match 1. Match 1, the Death and Taxes here. Seeing what we can do to disrupt some folks here in Modern. Very excited to play this one. Hopefully we don't sequence things a bit out of order. With Aether Vial and our creature packages, I think I've got a good understanding. We've been playing against a lot of this, but we haven't run it ourselves. Fingers crossed here. Match 1 opponent found. Let's play some Magic. We lose the die roll. That's okay, though. Ironically, our opening hand is very much lacking in white mana. Now, we have a lot of white mana. We don't have all white mana, though. I think, unfortunately for us, I have to mulligan. I say unfortunately, though, we're minimum 2-3 turns probably away from even casting these. And Batterskull doesn't really need to be in the hand. Playing a Batterskull from hand is usually through Stoneforge Mystic. So this opening hand, I think it's a worthy mulligan. That being said, we go straight into this. We'll go ahead and easily keep this. We'll get rid of a path. We have a Skyclave, double white, and 2 paths here. I think the upgrade from our previous hand well warranted the mulligan. Let's play. What do we got? Inspiring Vantage from our opponent. Seems like it could very well be Burn. We'll see. No initial reaction here. Inspiring Vantage and follows this up with a Sunbaked Canyon and Thalia. Looks like it's going to be a bit of a mirror match. I think here, Giver came one turn too late. Part of me kind of wants to play the Leonin Arbiter with the idea that I could field. I could also Skyclave this away. Pathing here seems okay as well. I'm going to go ahead and play down this Leonin Arbiter, use our mana as efficiently as possible, and just pass back. We won't be blocking here. We're just trying to get something out here efficient. Ghost Quarter can Ghost Quarter us. Not the greatest here. Maybe we played into that a little bit. Attack for 2 here. All fine, all fine. Okay. So here we could easily path. They can't search. It's probably what I want to be doing here so that our path does what it needs to. And we'll go ahead and counter attack for 2 here. If I cannot get my land off Ghost Quarter, you cannot get your land off of path. The mirror match here, red-white versus mono-white. Back and forth we'll go. Extra land here. Their mana base is a little bit more painful than mine at the current moment. There's a Skyclave. Skyclave here takes the Arbiter. Arbiter goes away. All right. We top deck our own Sunbaked Canyon. Now, this is not exactly the mirror. We don't really play red-white. We just have 2 Sunbakes, I think, in a Horizon Canopy for our cantrip lands. This turn, I want to take the Skyclave because then I would get a 2/2. At the same time, part of me wants to take the Aether Vial. I'm afraid of a Giver of Runes coming off the Aether Vial and protecting their Skyclave here. I think I have to play my own Skyclave here to protect from that. They have 3 cards here. The Aether Vial will be a pain, but I don't think it's unsurmountable here. So Skyclave here. Let's go ahead and hit their Skyclave. This gives me also a 2/2, so I have 2 2/2s. They will get a 3/3 if they do find a way to get rid of mine. That's okay though. It does give me a chance maybe to play my own Giver and hopefully protect this in the future. End step here. Does my opponent do anything with Aether Vial? The answer is no. So they don't have a Giver of Ruins. They don't have anything else they may be playing on 1. Aether Vial goes up to 2. We have 4 cards to beat. Now because we've gone after the creature, not Aether Vial, Sunbaked Canyons could be used in our future for cantripping and so on and so forth. Leonin Arbiter played here. We'll see if they have another Ghost Quarter. They might have a path. They use just a straight Cleansing Wildfire here. Finds another land. All right. It's a little bit dangerous here with the path. Here, I think we just attack with this 2/2 over here, see if they want to block. Might just slap down a Giver of Ruins here. That way we can make this protection in the future. They do block. I think I'm going to still play a Giver and pass turn. They don't want to have to tap out or do anything weird and then lose some lands here with the Field of Ruin, so I see the trade okay there. Once again, their mana base is relatively painful. We're hoping that this plays into our advantage. They go after a Sunbaked Canyon here. Aether Vial is at 3 currently. We could reset the Aether Vial if we would like to with the Flicker Wisp. Probably something I don't want to do. I'm thinking I want to play this Archon next. We have more basics than they do. Could be valuable. Double cantrips here. We have 5 cards to beat. Extra Sunbaked Canyon here. Aether Vial at 3. Puts a new Aether Vial into play. Okay. An Aether Vial's in for 3 here. A Flicker Wisp. Flickering. Skyclave here. This is kind of interesting because now we just get rid of an Aether Vial here probably. mean, they get a 3/3, but do I care so much about that? I kind of want to take them off an Aether Vial here. Because I have the path for this Flicker Wisp. Okay. Let's go with... Tempting to do just a Thalia here. Just be as mana efficient as possible. Thalia down past turn. We did skip through our first main phase there. Not a big deal. I'm not attacking into a 3/1 and a 3/3 here. Aether Vial number 2 goes up to 1 here. I have the Flicker Wisp, which can get rid of Disillusion. That'll be the plan for this Flicker Wisp when we're able to cast it. We do a Cleansing Wildfire here on the field. I'm going to say okay to that. We can obviously search this time. We can get a basic as well, which is super nice for us. Opponent probably doesn't attack. Alright, attacks for 3 in the air here. Reconsiders. And our turn. Alright, so we hit ourselves a Stoneforge Mystic, and we have a path here. I think this is a pretty easy Stoneforge. Probably just go get a Batterskull here. Nothing's too detrimental for us at this point in the game. We're at a healthy 17. We got a path to use. I like Batterskull here. No attacks. Aether Vial on 1 not used. And passing back. A little frightening if they get a Leonin Arbiter plus another Cleansing Wildfire, or if they get a Ghost Quarter, but we just got to go with what we've got here. Aether Vial up to 2. Probably going to go all combat on me again. I'm going to take 6 here because it's really not that bad to even up the life total pieces here. Giver Ruins is here to protect Stoneforge at this point in the game. And if they have a path, I can protect. And then if they have another path, they're going to have another land here. And it can't be another Inspiring Vantage. So I think Thalia plus Giver is protecting Stoneforge, giving us the Batterskull. And Batterskull is what we want to be doing. Now my opponent could Flicker Wisp the Batterskull token, which would be a bit of a pain, but we can also protect the token with the Giver. So this is our line, which is what we want to be doing. And as previously mentioned, if we get that third land here, we can Flicker Wisp and Flicker Wisp their token away if we want. A lot of decisions here. My opponent's going to go ahead and send the turn back. Alright, we miss, but that's okay. We're probably just staying chill here. Not going to attack into anything that the Aether Vial can bring in. We've got a Batterskull showing up here. Aether Vial on 2. Plays it in. Thalia. We have dueling Thalias now. Aether Vial goes up to 3, perhaps. And they'll have a Skyclave and Flicker Wisp options. Attacks for 3 in the air. No blocks. Let's go ahead and attempt to put Batterskull in here. I could also play a Maul into play. Playing a Maul into play could theoretically be a nice way to jump in front of something. Okay, they give us the turn back. I get to play a Plains down here. I think this is a pretty easy attack with the Germ. Want to gain some life here, if possible. See if they have their own Flicker Wisp. Could flicker Batterskull, or they can flicker the Germ here. Aether Vial comes in. Flicker Wisp. Attempts to flicker the Germ. I am going to give this protection from white. And we'll see if they have a path to follow up with this. It looks like they do. We'll say okay to the path. We get an extra land here. Okay. I can either play an Archon down as a 1-blocker here. I could play Flicker Wisp as a blocker and Flicker Wisp my Batterskull, which to me seems like maybe the best play. Let's go ahead and Flicker Wisp our own Batterskull here to reset it. Spells cost an entire 3 mana due to both Thalias being in play. They can attack me for 6 and I don't get to do the Maul trick here, but I think if I'm able to go ahead and attack with the Germ this coming turn, we'll be in good shape. We've seen a path here, no other paths, so we are playing into a potential of 3 other paths here. But I like that Flicker Wisp. I've got the Flicker Wisp in play. I can use the Flicker Wisp to guard against one of the other Flicker Wisps. We have the Batterskull that can attack. A lot of good things that can happen here. Paths are Flicker Wisp. We'll say yes. We'll go get more mana. So we're setting ourselves up really nicely with all the mana. Keeping in mind that I can hook up the Maul to the Germ here. My opponent attacks me for a good solid 6 damage. It's a new Giver. I can use 2 mana here for the Maul. What's interesting is if they have a Skyclave here, then our Batterskull is kind of in trouble. Let's go ahead and just go to combat here for 4. Seems pretty safe here to do this. And safe it was. We can leave up Stoneforge for Maul and then have Path as well. I like having both of these options for this coming turn, especially since I just gained 4 life. My opponent didn't flash anything in at 3 either, so unless they just top decked a 3-drop, I think we're safe from the Aether Vial. It did go up to 4, which is a little bit frightening. Let's go ahead and do a Stoneforge. Maul here. Maul, we're going to try to attach to Germ, I think. I could attach the Skyclave over here as well. I think our opponent's conceded, though, because the game has frozen. I think for this one, I'm probably okay with putting it on just the Apparition. I can block a Flicker Wisp, and I can path this Flicker Wisp. If I put it over here on the Germ, we could see a Skyclave Apparition, or sorry, a Restoration Angel, now that this is a 4, flickering a Flicker Wisp to flicker Batterskull. Actually, because this is at 4, we probably put it on the Germ now, right? Because 4, Flicker Wisp, Germ, I protect the Germ. They would have to have a path as well, but they're already then flickering a Flicker Wisp. And then we only take 3? Yeah. We put it on the Batterskull there. All right. Not a bad beginning one here. Cage is interesting because it could stop their own Aether Vials. Probably want the Revoker, though. Revoker name Aether Vial? Cage name Aether Vial? Let's see here. Burnington does nothing. Winds of Abandon are probably okay here as other removal spells. The Mark is a bit interesting because if we do attack and they do have some protection, we could get them that way. And we have Mirren Crusader, which is protection from black and from green, not red or white. What do we want? I think we could take out 2 Archons here. My opponents, although most of their lands were non-basics, they have Aether Vials, so this Archon feels like a little bit of a miss. I think we want all of our artifacts here, all Skyclaves and all Flicker Wisps. Thalia could maybe be a one-of out as well, because they're going to probably play their own Thalias. What we could do is we could play so that we get rid of Aether Vials. If we do that, I kind of like that idea, and bring in our own cages for Phyrexians. We could play something like this and try to go, okay, let's not play an Aether Vial matchup. Let's play this type of matchup. And to me, that's kind of interesting. It kind of fills our deck with some more power. And I kind of like that idea. The mirror match is definitely something I wouldn't say I'm super planned for. But I like this. A little more removal. Let's not worry about Aether Vial. I know they can blow up my lands, but let's not worry about that. Looks like a decent keeping hand here. Once again, we're not looking for Aether Vials. Giver for our opponent. We have our own Giver. We'll play our own Giver. Blaststone's a really nice little find here as well. That can get rid of Aether Vials. So we're going to probably play Stoneforge and just see if I want to slap down a Batterskull pretty quick here. There's a Ghost Quarter. Thalia. There's that Thalia. We took one of ours out. Probably no attack here. Can't play Winds of Abandon just yet. Second, Stoneforge. Not going to play Arbiter due to the Ghost Quarter here. Don't want to play Arbiter before Stoneforge either. Let's go searching. We'll find ourselves a Batterskull and pass the turn. So we have our own Stoneforge protected, but if my opponent plays a land and then gets to Ghost Quarter with a Leonin Arbiter, it's something they get to do. I'm not going to block here. No real reasons to. Want to keep Giver up and ready to defend Stoneforge for us. 3 mana Skyclave. Skyclave targets the Giver. Okay. There's a cage. Alright, so we can put a Blast Zone in. I could Skyclave around away their Skyclave here. They have their own Giver. This would need a lot of mana right now. A lot. I think this is just going to be placing a Batterskull into play at some point during my opponent's turn here. Might use Winds of Abandon on the Giver of Runes. Cage is the least of my worries at the moment. Opponent attacks for 4 here. I see very little reason not to go ahead and just play this in here. We get to block potentially. I'll give it protection probably, but I want to tap this down possibly and use Winds of Abandon. So we'll give this a shot here. Try to get rid of Thalia. Either way, they hit us for 2 here, not 4. And 3 mana new Skyclave. So they're going to get rid of this one. Oh, they don't. They get rid of the Stoneforge Mystic. Interesting. Okay. I could Skyclave them, Skyclaving away their Giver. Now I have a Skyclave and a Batterskull. This is probably the correct line with a Thalia sitting here. We'll take their Giver away and pass the turn back. We can attack for 4 as well and gain some life. So that seems fine. Gain the life back, they do that. I'm surprised they didn't Skyclave away the... Oh no, they can't Skyclave away a Batterskull. That's right, 4 or less. Card's broken, but not that broken. Paths away my Germ. Get a land here. Land is kind of nice to see, because if I top deck another land, I can hook up the Batterskull here. Because we have the potential to hook up the Batterskull, not going to block. Not going to block. New Giver. We do have that option to hook up the Batterskull. I think that's just what we do here. Why not hit him for 6 and gain 6? Why not? Go back to 20. Down to 5 for my opponent unless they chump. Cool. Again, they might have another path here or something. That's fine. Flicker Wisp. Flickering. Probably the Skyclave? Flickers their own Skyclave. Gives us a 1/1 here. No attacks, clearly. And when this comes back down, they'll get rid of the new Skyclave. I can attach this to the illusion, though, and go for a combat again if I wanted to. This is almost there. Almost there. I wonder if I just put a Stoneforge down. Like, take this turn to just fill up our board here. I'm at 20. This might be just to fill up the board turn. Stoneforge Mystic. Play a Leonin Arbiter. I guess if I play a Leonin Arbiter, they get to Ghost Quarter. Maybe I'm okay with that. Next turn, I just Blast Zone them. Here we could go get the Sky, the flying one. And just slap it into play instead of the Sword of Fire and Ice. Could just slap this in. We get flying in first strike here. We put it on the Stoneforge. I'm going to play a new Leonin Arbiter down here. Pass the turn. Because we get our Skyclave back, if I recall, from this Flicker Wisp, right? No. No, because they flickered their Skyclave. They flickered their Sky because my Skyclave's right here. Alright. Well, we'll see if they want to do something with this Leonin Arbiter here. Ghost Quarter meme. Land played. Sunbaked Canyon cantripped. Bugler. Bugler finds. Phyrexian Revoker. Could name Batterskull. To me, this is where you go ahead and Ghost Quarter. So I have to top deck the land in order to attach the Batterskull, and they can do the Skyclave. Or they can, Revoker can name Batterskull. We happen to draw a Horizon Canopy here. So I think this is the turn to go ahead and attach. And I'm attaching to the Arbiter here so that I can use Stoneforge in the future. This is a 6/6. I think having a path and a mark here, I don't attack. I'm at a healthy 19. My opponent's at 2. They have Sunbaked, and a Inspiring Vantage, so they can't even really play the Revoker without taking a point of damage. They can't cast a path without taking a point of damage either. Good reason to have basics. Cantrips a Sunbaked Canyon. Now they're probably not playing anything this turn. Alright, a field. Still probably not paying anything. Oh, wow. Stoneforge Mystic. Do I have lethal here? No, because of the Giver. Okay. Can't search due to Leonin Arbiter. I don't have lethal because the Giver... Oh my gosh, I think I have lethal now. Phyrexian Revoker named Giver of Ruins. Push the Maul in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I can't quite do it all because of Thalia over here. Let's slap down our Phyrexian Revoker to shut off Giver here. They protect Flicker Wisp here. Because they know about the Maul. Do I want a path and response here at all? There's a protection from white. What else would I do this turn instead? Can only make one thing flying. Needed another land here to win this game right now. So I've got to beat a Phyrexian plus unknown card. We have 2 cards. Can't cast or use this. I don't want to give them a land, but at the same time it won't do the Arbiter here. Maybe I want to get rid of their Stoneforge Mystic here. So just allow Phyrexian Revoker to resolve here. We still name Giver. I can Winds of Abandon the Stoneforge Mystic this turn. So Giver taken care of. And we'll just Winds of Abandon the Stoneforge Mystic here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. And we'll just pass the turn here. Phyrexian Revoker, 2 unknown cards. We'll have the Maul and the Mark next turn. Probably can swing with everything. Probably trades decent. Well, this here, this here, this here. Oh, we wouldn't trade. Looks like they're cantripping their Sunbaked Canyon. So are they putting the Revoker down or no? The answer is no. The answer is no. We get to attack with a Leonin Arbiter with a Maul in the sky. And then after that, probably winning. There you go. Match 1 done. Very nicely done. We get the W. Let's see if we can continue the streak. Match 2 coming up next. Match 1 in the books. Match 2 queued up and looking for our opponent. Playing Mono White, Death and Taxes, a Spiderspace deck. Beating the mirror. Felt good to beat the mirror. Yes, it did. We have found our opponent. Let's play Magic. Match 2, Mono White, Death and Taxes. We get to play first. Always a good thing. Let's play first. Double Thalia Flickerwisp hand with a Ghost Quarter and a Field. This doesn't feel like a very strong hand. I'm not sure if I keep this or not. I'm going to keep it because my opponent may have removal here. We don't really know what they're doing. And having Field Ghost Quarter here, top decking a Leonin Arbiter, things could get really wild with taking care of their lands. Not as strong of a hand, we'll say that. Inquisition here, they'll probably steal away a Flickerwisp. If they're Rack here, they might steal away a Thalia, trying to get through both Thalias. If they steal a Thalia, please put this one. Okay. Steals a Flickerwisp here. Find ourselves with 2 basics. We'll put Thalia, Guardian of Thraben, into play, taxing our opponents. Field of Ruin may not be very good if they're mono black. And by the way, this swamp has a little skull on it. I like it. I like it. All right, we are beginning to tax our opponent. Prismatic Vista here. Immediately fetching with their Prismatic Vista, finding a snow-covered mountain. Dark Confidant shows up. Let's play a Sunbaked Canyon here. Let's attack for 2 and pass the turn. Red-black. Mid-range. I'm not going to look for a path here off the Sunbaked Canyon. We may still draw at the end step, but I'm not immediately wanting to do that. K command. We're safe right now. A little bit harder to cast that. Bloodstained Mire. It would take a little bit more damage, and does so. Are we going to do Bolt and Inquisition or Thoughtseize here? Magus of the Moon. Well, I'm going to go ahead and cantrip the Sunbaked Canyon. This is the time to go ahead and do that. We get a new Ghost Quarter. Nothing else of interest at the moment. Attacks for 2 and passes the turn. It's a Skyclave. Let's go ahead and go to combat and see if they want to block. They might. They might not care. Alright. Play Skyclave, get rid of Dark Confidant here. Might be the play. Do I care about this Magus? I mean, I don't have a Leonin Arbiter here, but if I lead with a Ghost Quarter here, Skyclave the Magus, let the Dark Confidant hurt them again. The trick here is that the Dark Confidant could get them into a land here, but it might also do more damage to them. I'm going to play that Dark Confidant's going to be our friend. They're going to hit a nice 3-drop here, and they're going to miss their land. Skyclave in here at Magus, so that if I top deck Leonin Arbiter, we'll be in great shape. Double Ghost Quarter Leonin Arbiter is our play here. Dark Confidant, a Cling to Dust. It's a point of damage. Did they find their land, though? Were you kind to us, Dark Confidant? Dang it. At least it's a fetch land. One thing that's nice about it being a fetch land is that our opponent does take a little bit more damage. They also know that I have another Thalia here, so we'll see how they decide to play this one out. Probably wants to kill Thalia. There's a sword. Let's play next Ghost Quarter. Let's attack with Thalia, Guardian of Thraben. We're fetching right now. We'd prefer not to take damage, it seems. At the same time, I could just slap down a new Thalia. If I do slap down a new Thalia, though, Sword of Iron Ice isn't really happening here. Looks like a K command, since we know about this card. Ah, they're going to kill Skyclave so they have 2 creatures here. This is a good line. I like this line. Let's get rid of basic planes here. That's a good line. Was not thinking about that. Cool. All right. I think here I still probably just slap down new Thalia here and pass the turn. Let Dark Confidant continue on its way here. Dark Confidant hits a Liliana of the Veil. Liliana could down tick here, killing our Thalia, and they could hit me for 5, but they've got to be aware of their life total. Life total is in danger. Looks like that's what they're going to do. Thalia, goodbye. Attacks for 5. I'm at 13. There's a Skyclave. I don't think there's any other options. Skyclave in. Probably can get rid of the Liliana to try to keep our sword here. And we'll pass the turn. I have a Cling in hand. Again, we're hoping Dark Confidant helps us out here. Hits a mountain. First time it doesn't do damage. Pretty good for them. They have a lot of cards in hand. We're playing the Don't kill us, Dark Confidant. New Liliana. Downticking here with the new Liliana gets them a 3/3. It's pretty powerful for them. Hits for 5 here, puts me to 8. Then hits for an additional 8. Uh-oh. Thought seizes away my Sword of Fire and Ice. This puts them to 4. I assume their deck is chock full of 3 and below drops. Hopefully no 4 drops for this Dark Confidant here. We are dead on board. Let's Ghost Quarter here. The idea is thinning out their deck so they don't hit a land. Maybe they have a 4-drop. This also checks how many non-basics we have here. It looks like they have quite a few. Oh, they stopped. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Looks like we have about 5 non-basics. All right. Top of the library. What do you got? Fatal Push Dark Confidant here. Then they only do 6. Clings to Dust. They go up to 7. They get rid of a Skyclave here, gaining 3 life. Smart, smart, smart. Could have in response to Dark Confidant as well. They do hit a 2-drop. But they do have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Alright. Kroxa. Rakdos. Aggro to mid-range. Looks more mid-range than anything. Let's play. Cage can come in here. Burnington maybe. Mirren Crusader most definitely. Rest in Peace most likely. Winds of Abandon perhaps. Alright. Probably okay with Aether Vial this matchup. Both Batterskull and Sword okay. Maul might not be so much. Flickerbiss is an interesting way to potentially get rid of a Kroxa briefly, depending on how maybe we have a Rest in Peace or something like that. My opponent's not going to play multiple spells, but their non-basics would come into play tapped. I think Archon can be taken away here. So I'm thinking Mirren Crusader, Cage. Mirren Crusader, Rest in Peace to start. They have a lot of removal. Maybe we don't want Skyclave. We want something more like Winds of Abandon. I think I want one more Rest in Peace here. Maybe I'm Rest in Peacing away Flicker Wisp here. Do something like this. Lean heavily on Stoneforge, Batterskull. That might not be a good idea because of K command. If we go more this route, we're leaning on Leon and Arbiter. Let's take one Leon. No, let's take one Thal. Let's take a card out and bring back in one Skyclave. Perhaps one Flicker Wisp. Balance out this 3/3. Let's balance the 3/3 out. Let's take out. Let's take out one Thalia because we're going to be wanting our Path and we're going to be wanting our Winds of Abandon more than likely. All right, we'll give this a try here. Rest in Peace may be a little bit overkill here if we're going to be pathing and Winds of Abandoning the creatures, but if they're just Kroxaing out, maybe just wanting to hit that and out of the bin there. All right, we'll keep this. We have an Aether Vial. We've got some 3-drops. We'll see if we get there. Getting a Mirren Crusader down seems like a great way to win this game. Lava Claw. Aether Vial. We'll just do this. We'll worry about that later. Go ahead and pass the turn. We can end step a Giver of Ruins, which is looking okay if I top deck another land for Mirren Crusader. Blackcleave Cliffs here, 2 mana for our opponent. Go ahead and slap down the Giver. Aether Vial. goes up to 2. Land? Nice. Land here. We're going to go ahead and slap down a Mirran Crusader and pass turn. Mirran Crusader probably wins this game relatively quickly. We have the ability to Skyclave plus Aether Vial this coming turn, which feels like a great way to get rid of a Liliana if they do play one. Bolts Giver. We're going to give protection over here, and we're going to give red briefly. Not a whole lot I can do, though. So they Bolt Giver. They're going to be able to play a Liliana here. Liliana will get rid of Mirran Crusader, one of the few ways you can get rid of it. I will Skyclave, and in response to the Skyclave Apparition, Flicker Wisp? Probably. We'll see. Three mana. Do they want to play that Liliana? Of course they do. Slap that Lily down. They're thinking that they're going to lose something because I bring something in on 2 at Aether Vial. They're wondering if they should wait to 4 mana here. Pretty confident that's what they're trying to consider here. They decide K commands where they want to be. So K commands does some damage. Looks like I'm going to be playing a Flicker Wisp just to defend our Mirran from things. Double strike here. I think it's got to be a Flicker Wisp here. Flicker Wisp trying to avoid Liliana here. Liliana down tick killing. Flicker Wisp in this case, not Mirran Crusader. Mirran Crusader feels like one of our biggest win conditions against this opponent. 3 mana. Seasoned Pyromancer. Okay. Could Winds of Abandon this, or we could Skyclave it. Blood Crypt shocks the Blood Crypt in. I guess we have a Bolt. Bolting Mirran Crusader. Thought Seizing us. Doing something here. Unearth Seasoned Pyromancer that they pitched with their first Seasoned Pyromancer to draw more Seasoned Pyromancer thingies. This has protection from black and from green, but not from red. Pretty good. Double Winds of Abandon here. Could Winds and Winds. They get a lot of mana to do whatever they want the following turn. I see a Cling over here. We are like a point or 2 away from this being a little more powerful. This has double strike. You know what? I Winds and Winds. They get more mana, but I have the double strike here. And this exiles both of these cards, so they're not feeling Kroxa, and they're not going to turn into little tokens in our future. A little brutal here to do it this way, but I think doing this way I can attack with all of what I have. My opponent may hesitate to block here, so they have more elementals in the future. Keeping in mind this has protection from black, which is good against this. In for 3, maybe an additional 4 damage. We might be seeing our opponent at 6 after this attack. Or we'll see it with a jump block here. Definitely not going to block more than with 1 token. Depends on if they want more elementals in the future. They block with a singleton elemental. And they take 3. All right. We gave them 2 more lands here. Will this hurt us? Who knows? Liliana. We just lose Flicker Wisp here. What is this? feed the Swarm away, the Flicker Wisp. Now they can down tick to kill the Crusader. Pretty good line here. At least I have Apparition here to get rid of Liliana. Tax for 2. To keep our Flicker Wisp, we have to Apparition here. Apparition will kill Liliana, or get rid of it. We'll hope they don't have like a Thoughtseize Inquisition here. Maybe I get to Flicker Wisp a token away in the future and attack for 2. Lava Claw could be animated to a block though. We'll see. Inquisition would be brutal here. 3 mana. Skelemental is pretty brutal as well. Skelemental's pretty brutal as well. We go down to 10. I'm not going to block. That would give them a 3/3 as well, and I'm discarding anyway. Goodbye, Flicker Wisp. Goodbye. Land for our opponent. Does not shock in, and we have 1 card left. They are casting something here. A Kroxa to do an additional 3 here. Top deck wars begin. We're at 7. My opponent's at 7. Top of the library provides Stoneforge. So we could search. They're going to be able to play a Kroxa back here. I probably shouldn't search here due to the Kroxa being played out of the yard. I guess I'll force that so that I don't take damage here. Probably our best draw later is Sword. So we'll put a Batterskull into hand. Not going to attack for 2 and give them a 3/3 here. So we have Kroxa or whatever's on top of the library here. This also makes it so they have to use a Thoughtseize instead of an Inquisition if that's the top card in the library. This looks like Kroxa though. Kroxa comes back, gets rid of Batterskull. We're almost hoping to top deck a... Sword? Probably a Path is actually what we're looking for. Path or Winds of Abandon. Maybe another Skyclave. Top of the library is a Flicker Wisp. I could Flicker Skyclave here. Gives them a 3/3. I then exile the Kroxa. And that then gives them a 2/2. Whenever they do attack and I block. But I don't take damage when they're attacking me. I have a Lava Claw to worry about here too. It's a 2/2. Flicker Wisp blocks the 3/3. Skyclave blocks the 2/2. Or the 1/1 and the 1/1. Blocks one of these, blocks one of these. It's a shame I can't flicker this and then put something into play. Can't do that. This attacks me, I take 3. If I play this and flicker a token. I think I've got to flicker Skyclave here and just hope they don't have a random bolt for the Skyclave. Flickering Skyclave here lets me get rid of the Kroxa so I don't die by them attacking me necessarily. But we're not in a great spot here. 7-7. Skyclave comes back, we get the Kroxa. Okay. Bolts, Skyclave, Illusion, so we have a 3/3, a 2/2. Are we going to boot this up or no? Looks like no. Attacks for 3. I'm going to take this. I'd rather keep my Flicker Wisp for maybe a Stoneforge get to put a sword into play. Opponent Inquisitions here just to fill their yard. We get a Sunbaked Canyon. Well, we're going to cantrip that. Cantrip away. Extra land here. We'll pass the turn. I'm not dead. I've got one more turn here. Flicker Wisp blocks Illusion. This blocks here. I take 2, 3, and I can Field of Ruin Lava Claw. My opponent's going to cling here. Clinging probably like Winds of Abandon or something so they can draw an extra card. Gets rid of my Batter Skull. Top of the library for our opponent. Looks like they've got this. I'm really behind. Extra land here. Oh gosh, Liliana's the worst. Lava Claw. Combat time. Combat time. Go to blocks first before doing anything, because if we kill the field here with the field, that could be a fatal push that would get rid of the Flicker Wisp. We'll get rid of the thing that's going to kill us. We're going to take 3. Go to 1. This is where Batter Skull would be better to draw, so if I would have done the sword, maybe that would have been better. Dark Confidant is our opponent's choice here. All lands. A little bit of lands there at the end. My opponent does kill us here unless they have a 7-drop somewhere buried in their list. They take 2 for a Collective Brutality. They could, and they should, 2-mode this, kill this, look at the hand, verify that it's not Settle the Wreckage here. Opponent doesn't do that though. Liliana makes sure it's not a Settle the Wreckage as well. Gets rid of our planes. Opponent attacks for 5 and takes us down. Match 2 going to our opponent. We're 1-1 overall. Whew. We'll see you all in that next match here. Getting beaten up by the mid-range. By the mid-range. There you go. One overall. Mid-range taking us down, beating the mirror. What's up next? Let's find our next opponent. Let's play some Magic. We have found our third match opponent. Let's go. We do not get to play, although we have a relatively okay hand here. Let's go ahead and keep. Thalia with the Maul is a little bit awkward. Leonin Arbiter, though, is alright. Let's see what the top of the library gives us. Nothing too crazy here in our opening hand. Soulscar Mage. Blue-red Wizards? Perhaps. Perhaps. Alright, we have a Stoneforge Mystic here. We have a Thalia. We have a Leonin Arbiter. We're probably going to go Thalia, Stoneforge, Leonin Arbiter if we can. Swift Spear for our opponent. Bloodstained Mire attacks for 2. And I think that's good. We might be doing Thalia, Stoneforge, Leonin Arbiter. With the idea Thalias will slow down my opponent here. And they'll fire off at the Thalias, hopefully. In that case, we'll give them Shiny Thalia. Shiny toy to attack here. This also presents First Strike here, so they may be a little bit wary about attacking into this. Fetching Bloodstained Mire and shocking him with their Steam Vents. And does Lava Dart the Thalia away here. This is where I can play an Archon here to slow them down as well. There's a Mutagenic Growth. How far are we going here? Land. We might be playing this Archon to try to save us some life total points here. This is 8, puts me to 10. I'd love to be able to play a Stoneforge here and then put in a Batter Skull. Not sure I'm going to get that luxury, though. Lava Darts me, sacrificing a land here. We're down to 7. Down to 7, my opponent could play one spell with the Archon here. They don't have a Lava Dart in the yard. A 2/3 blocks fairly nicely here. If the top of their deck is just a Lava Dart, looks kind of weird if it's a mutagenic growth though. Thalia is not really going to stop us from getting killed necessarily either. Kind of like the idea of playing Archon here, but I also understand that my opponent has kind of dead draws here. They didn't fire off another 1 mana spell. If they would have fired off another 1 mana spell, let's just say it was a bolt or something. The bolt would have put me to 4, and then 2 more prowess triggers would have put me to 2, which would have presented then lethal here. So with that knowledge, it's probably not a 1-drop in hand. It's probably a 2-drop. It's not a pump spell because that would have killed me. So with all of that being said, we're going to play Stoneforge here, go get Batterskull, and we're going to hope that is enough to stabilize the game here. We will see, we will see. F6 through the turn. It'd be really good to have a path here. Wooded Foothills, 2 unknowns. Lightning Bolt. That's 4 damage. Do you have more opponents? Manamorphose. Looks like they've kind of gotten everything. I'm going to 1. Top of the library is any spell kills. No spell. Alright. I need 2 cards to defend since I'm at 1. We're going to do a Thalia here. We're going to do a Leonin Arbiter. We have 2 defenders. Go ahead, opponent. 2 cards to beat me with. Creature wins. Spell wins. Lava Dart will win. Alright. Alright. Well, we have some good things for this matchup. Burnington Forge looks pretty good here. Maybe Rest in Peace or Grafdigger Cage with the idea that you shut off Lava Dart. But I'm going to do Burningtons first. Let's do that. What do we take out? Honestly, this could be like take 2 Leonin Arbiters out. Take 1 Maul out. And honestly, what's a Flicker Whisper or Skyclave doing? A Flicker Wisp is probably not doing as much. Flickering their creature doesn't really do a lot. Flicker my own land and then path is okay. We do have the Thalias though. I think it's Burnington, pretty simply put. Protection from red. Maybe try to get a Batterskull down. Giver of Runes to protect Stoneforge. Aether Vial is okay. I don't think I want to Rest in Peace here. Lava Dart's obviously a bit of a nuance card that could kind of get us, but I think with our Giver and Burnington package, no real reason to put a Rest in Peace in here for 1 card, maybe a Bedlam Reveler. Alright, we get to play first as well. We'll keep this. Giver into Thalia seems like an okay start here. Backup Thalia in case first Thalia dies. So Giver of Runes down. We'll see if they want to bolt this. Bolt at Giver is fine. My opponent nearly skips their entire turn here. Wooded Foothills is played. Steam Vents. Shocks in. And follows this with a bolt to Giver of Runes. We'll go ahead and Thalia, Guardian of Thraben down. Blast Zone's pretty nice to see here because we can blow things up on 1. It's a good start from us. Definitely taxing. That's what we're trying to do. Creature. Swiftspear. Fiery Islet. Creature. A 1/2 and a 1/2 here. Let's play a Ghost Quarter. We'll pass the turn. Path is nice to see here. Does cost us a little bit extra. Do they have a spell that they want to throw at Guardian? Thraben. May not even worry too much about this. We can play our own Thalia again if they kill it. They do Lava Dart it. I probably just path the Soulscar Mage here. I could also just plan to Blast Zone. You know what? Let's just plan to Blast Zone these away. We'll take an extra 2 damage here and prep Blast Zone. Looks good. Looks good. I like it. We can then play Thalia and Path for follow-ups. Spritey Dragon here. Land. We'll have a path for this. Just go ahead and blow up the world. In for 1, I presume. Maybe more, maybe less. Follows this up with a light up the stage. Finds themselves a Gut Shot and a Manamorphose. Top deck of Batterskull. Because they only have 1 creature here and 2 spells, and one of these spells can be played to kill Guardian, I'm going to go ahead and just chill. The one thing I could do is play Path here on my own Thalia. And if I did that, I would be guaranteeing the Batterskull, but I think with 2 paths, I want to use those against my opponent. Much rather these hitting my opponent's creatures here. It gives them more mana, yes, but I'm just trying to take care of creatures because they're at 3 cards here. Going to be probably using this Manamorphose. There's a Swift Spear. Good example here. 2 paths here looking much better than pathing my own Thalia at this point in the game. We'll draw that other land. I almost want them to use this Lava Dart at some point. Let's yield to these. Light the stage. Extra land, Manamorphose, and a Bedlam Reveler. Manamorphose. Now we're going to have a Bedlam Reveler to deal with. Plays the Bedlam Reveler. Discards a Stormwing. What do I want to deal with here? I just path the Sprite Dragon here. Do I take 4 here, or do I take 4 here, or do I path the Bedlam Reveler? Honestly, I'd probably just take the 4 here and path the Bedlam Reveler, knowing that the prowess on this will at least keep it smaller. Sorry, the prowess on the Monastery Swift Spear will keep it smaller than the Bedlam Reveler. I've given them all the lands they need, though. It's kind of scary, but just got to go with it. Batterskull in the play here. He's there to block the germ. Lava Dart's over here. If we're finding ourselves just bolting this, it's going to be really frustrating. Lots of lands for my opponent. We play a Kozilek's Return to shrink this to 2. Play a new Bedlam Reveler. They have a Lava Dart in the yard. Definitely want to block here. What do we need? Land plus Winds of Abandon? Extra Swift Spear here. We'll block the Swift Spear over here. I have a feeling they're Lava Darting anyway. They Lava Dart my own germ here, so I gain less. Go down to 8. Alright. We'll play a Thalia here. We're playing an Archon. We really just need one of these to live and them not to have lethal. It's a tall order with 2 Fiery Islets, 3 cards in my opponent's hand. Never saw a Burnington here. Had to hard cast a Batterskull. This might be a little harder though for them. We have the Thalia here. Lava Dart's Thalia. Oh, that looks real bad. That looks really bad. Because now I have to block. I block 4. Go to 2. Not great. Not great. Prowess. Red Prowess takes down match 3 here against Death and Taxes. Taxes and Death. Lava Dart. Pretty good against Thalia. Pretty good. Pretty good. We'll see you in match 4. Match 4. Finding an opponent. Trying to play a white Taxes variation here. Courtesy of Spiderspace. Let's see if we can get 3-2. I think we can. I think we can. We probably need to be just a little more aggressive than I am being with our mulligans. But I think we got a shot. Match 4. Let's go. Let's play Magic. We have found our opponent. Let's go. Talk about being more aggressive with our mulligans. We'll go ahead and mulligan this. Way too many lands. Alright, we have 2 lands here. We've got Thalia, Stoneforge, Archon, Flicker Wisp, and a Path. Keep, perhaps get rid of an Archon because I prefer to have the removal and the Flicker Wisp here. And let's see if we can get lucky. Probably going to play the Stoneforge Mystic out first unless my opponent is Prowess again. Blooming Marsh and an Elvish Mystic. Huh. Okay. Could be a lot of elves. Let's go ahead and give them the turn back. We're going to leave the path available for something a little more interesting than an Elvish Mystic here. If you haven't already, we've already put up our elves match by this point. Go ahead and path this so they don't get a lot of creatures here. We'll see if my opponent's any better at elves than I am. Alright, let's go ahead and throw down our Stoneforge Mystic here. We'll go get Sword of Fire and Ice because we already have Batterskull in hand. And we'll pass the turn. Probably going to just slap down a Batterskull here. It looks like my opponent has Collected Company. They should attack here. No real reason not to. Put me to 16. 15 when I tap this. Attack. Be aggressive. That is what we learned. Be aggressive. If you're not aggressive, you're going to lose this game. Encourage our opponent. You got this. This face. This face. Sideways. Red zone. Right here. Right here. Red zone. Not red zone? Red zone. There you go. There you go, opponent. We have a Skyclave here. Go to our end step here. My opponent will play their collected company. Good job. Way to go. Dwynen's Elite plus an Azuri. Opponent's going to have quite a bit of mana here. Their turn. Do you have the 5th land? You do. Play a Heritage Druid down. Now what are they going to attack with? Almost nothing. Almost nothing. We'll play Batterskull down. Would love to Skyclave away the Azuri here. Not so worried about all the mana they could produce. I'm just worried about... I'm worried about Azuri. We don't get that luxury, though. It looks like I'm going to be playing a Thalia down. Extra blocker here. I don't believe I can attack either. Whoa, Collected Company? Oh, double Collected Company. This is how you do it, elves. Clan Caller and a Shaman of the Pact. I think I'm dead. I'm going to attack with the Germ here. Perhaps I was supposed to attack with the Germ and then reset. Can't reset. What am I talking about? We gain 4. We get rid of a Shaman here. They've got 5 mana. They use Azuri. Can I just concede? Am I allowed to do that on the channel? Concede? Opponent makes a whole bunch of mana here. Regen, all the good stuff. Alright. My opponent just pumps and goes. Pumps and goes. Alright. Elves. Elves, elves, elves. I can't lose to this. Can't lose to this. Cage wins Mirren Crusader. Archon can come out. They don't search too much. Probably can strim 1 Leonin Arbiter, 1 Thalia. They actually don't kill stuff too much. Let's take 1 Giver out as well. Cool. Flickers. Flickers for Skyclave to keep removing creatures. Creatures are more or less 1 to 3 converted mana cost. So if we do get the Skyclave on any of them, we're looking good. Winds of Abandon for our Wrath effect. Paths to get rid of little creatures here. Let's do it. Nope. 2 Thalias, not what we want. Aggressively mulligan. There we go. This looks much better. We'll keep this. Kind of tempted to keep that Maul here for the Mirren Crusader to end the game quickly. I don't think Thalia is going to do a whole lot. We're going to be playing mono 3 drops here. I'd rather keep the land here to be sure I hit these on curve as well. So Skyclave, Mirren, Maul. Mirren's a good blocker here too. Feels good. Let's do it. We'll keep this hand. We will get rid of the Thalia. Land. Passer. Whoosh. Repeat land for our opponent. Has their own Elvish Mystic. Play our land. We ended up top decking a land. Shame I didn't know that that was going to happen. Feeling like it's going to be a Mirren Crusader here. Dwynen's Elite Elvish Mystic here. Opponent's going wide, doing their thing. Let's go ahead and play a Mirren Crusader down as a blocker, past turn. Got lots of mana over there. 3/4 mana, Collected Company here, main phase. Elvish Clan Caller and Heritage Druid has been found. Probably Skyclave on the Elvish Clan Caller here. 3 extra mana here. Plays a Zuri. Might be doing that now. Skyclave on more than likely a Zuri here, because a Zuri with Heritage Druid does a lot here. I don't need them trampling over me. Three mana here. Okay. Nifty. Regenerate. I think I just want to attack here. I know that it's a little risky, but I think attacking here is correct. Do a lot of damage to my opponent. They don't really put anything else too frightening in here. Oh, Shaman of the Pact is the last card. So we're going to Shaman. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 damage. This grows. It's going to grow a decent amount here. Going to put X +1/+1 counters on this. I guess I'm blocking here. This does 8 right now. Down to 3. It's interesting because now the Skyclave creates an illusion here that the illusion gets killed or blocks the Mirroring Crusaders here. Wow. I get so punished here. Alright, so I do get aggressive with my Mirroring Crusader, and whether it bites me or not here, I think they still probably attacked. Green-black, definitely a better set of elves than our mono-green list. Looks like we're going to gonna lose. My opponent cantrips twice here, plays a Nettle Sentinel, attacks with the team, and gets us. Oh boy. Well, taxes perhaps doesn't do very well against multi-spells. Some folks are going to tell me you should have left Archon in, but they should have most of their hand emptied by then. Let me know. Was Archon being taken out one of the reasons we lost this? I imagine Mirroring Crusader's supposed to come in here so that you have a way to get through. Let me know. We lose, though. Match 4 done. 1 to go. Match 5. 1-2-0. Started nicely. 3-0-2s. In a slump. Can we revive this league? Can we revive it? Lava Dart feels really strong against Thalia. Creature decks seem really good against just kind of the whole taxing of non-creature spells. Also Go Wide seems fairly good against us. Maybe this is a bad idea to run taxes right now. Maybe everyone's targeting it. And I say targeting it, our league appears to be very non-tax friendly. In fact, the only one we've won so far is against the taxes mirror. Match 5. Let's see if we can get a good opponent here. Let's play Magic. We found our opponent. Let's go. Let's win. Just win. Just win. Okay. We lose the dice roll, which is okay. Opponent choosing to play first. A good choice. All right. Opponent is an Obosh list. Obosh, huh? All right, we have 2 Aether Vials, Stoneforge, and Skyclave. Definitely going to go ahead and keep this one. But Obosh typically means bolts and potentially lava darts. Could be Obosh prowess. Maybe we get a chance to redeem ourselves against this matchup. Basic Mountain for our opponent, no follow-up. We'll play our Aether Vial, and I'll probably get to see if Archon works well, and maybe we'll fix our previous mistake. Aether Vial into play, go ahead opponent. Extra Mountain here, either 2 1-drops, or my opponent's not going to do anything again. Aether Vial here, going up to 1. Aether Vial. Aether Vial. Sure, who wants to play the Stoneforge on curve? Seasoned Pyromancer is my opponent's first play here. Gets rid of a Blood Moon and a Mountain. Probably good things to get rid of. I'm sorry, but Blood Moon is not crazy powerful. Alright, this Aether Vial up. We're going to put them all up here. 1, 1, 2. There we go. Land, pass the turn. Actually, we could play an Archon down. I don't think I like playing the Archon down. I'm just gonna play everything at instant speed. I've got the Aether Vials. Let's just do that. Let's cantrip the Sunbaked Canyon here. See what else I can hit. Swift Spear. What else? What else? What else? Attacks for 4. Let's go ahead and cantrip here just to see what else I hit. Another 1-drop, I might throw it out there. A Flicker Wisp. And pass the turn. 3 mana puts Obosh into hand here. End step, pretty easy. Aether Vial, 1 for Giver. Aether Vial, 2 for Stoneforge here. Stoneforge goes and finds Batterskull. Looking pretty good. Aether Vials are all going to go back up 1 more here. We have some 2-drops I wouldn't mind hitting. Not so much 1-drops, I think, at this point. Up, up, up. Another land here. So I can either play Batterskull or I could do the Skyclave Flicker Wisp kind of deal against my opponent. I think I just want to be slapping in a Batterskull this turn. I think that's correct. We can put Aether Vial up to 1 up to 3 and hold the other one at 2. 4 mana, Obosh in hand. We either get to play 2 spells here or 1 spell. I guess we could play 3 or 4 1-drops, but I think they would have been rushing some of those 1-drops out earlier. 5th land. If they want to, this is the time to play the Obosh down, because then they could attack freely and do extra damage. They do know about at least the Batterskull here. They don't know about the Archon. Firebolt's a giver here. I'll attempt to give protection to Stoneforge into the colors of red. So Obosh and 2 unknowns here. If they go into combat, the Archon landing is actually completely safe here to do some blocking. It's completely safe, and then the Batterskull can also block. And Archon itself could prevent them from casting more spells, which gives us a little bit of protection for Batterskull. Combat happens here. So yes, perhaps the Archon should not be taken out. But learning and applying our new knowledge. Probably doesn't attack because Stoneforge is just rude. Play down an Archon here. This also means I get to put in a Batter Skull pretty safely. Aether Vials. Gonna put one of these up to 2, and now we can say always no, always trigger. We want them at 3s and 2s here because of things like this. All right, let's go combat here. Let's see what they want to block with. I suppose I could be playing the Skyclave here. Give them a chance to block. They decide not to. I'm gonna go ahead and just play a Skyclave Apparition here. Targeting Seasoned Pyromancer in response. Use Flicker Wisp here. Flickering Wisp Skyclave. Skyclave returns the 0-drop and then removes the Seasoned Pyromancer. I'm going to go ahead and toss in a Thalia here as well. Just everything available to our opponent. Flicker Wisp brings back Skyclave here. Skyclave gets rid of Swift Spear. Go ahead, opponent. Good luck. Might have Obosh to beat here. Kind of sorcery speed, but I think that amount of pressure here will just upset our opponent enough that they'll, and they are, conceding the game. Okay. Ooh, and a path for Obosh. Nice. Okay. Burnington wins all in. All in. Out. Maul. Leonin Arbiters. One Flicker Wisp. Let's try this. So we have the life gain, protection from red, in Giver, Sword, and Burnington. We have removal adding winds. We have Skyclave, which is removal as well. We want to remove their creatures, not give them a whole lot of threats, and then get our Batterskull and or Sword in and beat them down. This is the plan. We did this wrong last time, I think, and this is the correct way to do it. Let's go. Learn from our mistakes. Most people will not have gotten to this point in the video, though, because I think most people only watch League 1 and League 2 games. You're missing out. Okay. Sword and a Skyclave. You know what? For science, we will keep this. We're up a game. I would probably do the aggressive mulligan stuff that we talked about, but my opponent had a slow start last time. Maybe. Protection, sword. Maybe it's what we need. Top decking another land, though, is not very good. Flooding out. Extra land here, another Swift Spear, followed by Bolt, Lava Dart, nothing? Looks like a nothing here. Attacks for 2 here, I go to 17. Top of the library gives us Thalia, we'll pass the turn. It's not a bad top deck here. Can't play Sword next. Oh, uh-oh. Our opponent has disconnected. That's not good. That's not good. We'll see if they come back. Otherwise, we'll cut to wherever they don't. The reaction time of that did not feel like their internet went out. One moment. Hey. All right, our opponent returns here. They end up casting a Lava Dart. Go ahead and yield to these Swift Spears, killing off Thalia, Guardian of Thraben. We've got a game continuing here. Attacks 4/4 here. It is their turn 3. That's where we're at. Haven't really missed much. You don't have to wait. Alright, I wonder if I'm supposed to Skyclave here to get rid of a Swift Spear. These are doing quite a bit of damage to me. I think the answer is probably yes. Just removing one of these from the battlefield makes the most sense to me. Less damage in the future here. I can then play Giver of Ruins plus the sword. My opponent immediately bolts this, so they get a 1-1, but the 1-1 does not have prowess, which is kind of the key component here. Opponent goes, attacks for what appears to be 2, and takes me to 11. Gonna keep playing basic planes here. They follow this up by putting Obosh into hand. 1, 2, 3. We'll play a new Skyclave here that we've top deck, getting rid of other Swift Spear. Again, these will both not have prowess now. We'll slap down a Giver and pass the turn. And I say both, that's if they remove Skyclave. We're in a great spot to potentially put Sword onto something. We'll try to put it on the Skyclave here so they don't get a 1-1 back. Opponents found their 4th land. There's 3 cards in hand plus Obosh. Lava Dart in the yard. We will allow them to attack for 1. Does not attack. 1, 2, 3. Let's play a sword. Would love to play sword and attack with the sword here. Attach. Opponent's doing something in response to this. Attempts a Kozilek's Return. We can give protection from colorless here. This is devoid. So we will attempt to do this. Should protect. We do get this attached. They lose their little creature. And hits it with a lightning bolt here. Alright. So we've done everything here. They have a little 1-1. Pretty good. Kozilek's Return is definitely a good sweeper here. Protection from red is definitely a thing we're starting to see quite a bit. Shattering Spree here to kill our Sword of Fire and Ice too. Pretty good, pretty good. No Obosh. Attacks for 1. Alright, we get a Aether Vial here. I'm going to just play out the Flicker Wisp. This lets me flicker the illusion here. We have an Obosh plus an unknown card. Flickering this just gets rid of it. Honestly, Flicker Wisp is probably not doing anything else. So remove the creature here. Opponent Lava Darts it, which was in the hand. So we have 2 Lava Darts in the yard plus Obosh. 5th land, Obosh is going to see play here. Looking for probably a path or a winds. They can now double Lava Dart me if they want to. Opponent's looking actually in a really good spot. We top deck a plains, which isn't much. My opponent does have lethal. We'll see if they act on it. Double damage. 2, 4, 6. Or 2, 2, and 6, which makes 10. Lava Darts. Lights the stage. Finds a Soulscar Mage. Plays that. Plays a land. Attacks with Obosh here. And should Lava Dart. Alright, our opponent takes down this one. Maybe they don't want to win yet. Allows me to go to my draw step here. We'll have 6 because I just got an Aether Vial. Perhaps they're playing around something that would instant speed gain life. It's a possibility. Or they've completely forgotten that they have the Lava Dart. Stomp from our opponent. Can't prevent the damage. Don't have anything for it. We're going to a game 3. Game 3 here. I don't know if I care about the lava dart so much in the yard. So I think, to me, we just send this completely back and try to win it on the play. Let's play first. Aether Vial, Path, Stoneforge, Giver, Archon. This seems like a relatively strong hand. Let's go for it. Aether Vial here and pass the turn. If they start with a Shattering Spree, we're going to be in a lot of trouble. No Shattering. Aether Vial goes up to 1. Bonus Aether Vial here, or do I want a Giver? I think we'll do another Aether Vial here and pass the turn. I'm wanting a land drop for my Stoneforge Mystic here. We can put a Giver into play pretty safely here. See if they have anything for us. Both of these are going to go up one more here. Bolts away the Giver. I could path this Giver, trying to get myself to my next land. I think I want to try to do this. If they want to use 2 bolts here, that's fine. I'm going to save myself here because I am ahead. I don't take the 3 from this. I'm going to have a Stoneforge plus a Giver here. I feel like that's the right play here, even if I top deck a land, which I don't. Okay. Luckily we have Stoneforge Giver. Third mana source. Shattering Sprees. So we're going to go ahead and play Stoneforge Mystic here. Using this to go get a Batterskull. And we're going to play a Giver here as well, because they've already played their land for the turn. They're going to get both of our Aether Vials here. Smart to double down on that in case I had a way to protect the Aether Vial. I think that was a smart play by our opponent. We do hit our 3rd land here. I'm just going to pass the turn. Leaving up Giver and leaving up Stoneforge for Batterskull. I do like to see a good Shattering Spree. Maybe something we should be bringing back to Red Prison sometimes. Alright, end step here. I'm going to put in a Batterskull. Put in the Batterskull. Living Weapon. I like living weapons. I like the equipments that come into play and immediately attach as well. End step here. Opponent is thinking. Archon's going to be played main phase, I think, so that they can't double down on killing the Batterskull easily if their choice is to do some bolt action. 2 mana, 3 mana. Kozilek's Return here. I guess I'll give protection over here. We're going to do the Devoid stuff again. We could be protecting the Germ, but I'm okay with them firing another spell over here if they want to. We can always return this to our hand and then replay. Decides to Bolt Stormforge as well, so that actually means we keep Germ alive this turn. And this may be very important with the Archon being here to kind of prevent a double spell like what just happened. They could still double spell because they can kill this and then something, but they can't throw 2 at the Germ immediately. I'm going to play Archon over Aether Vial here. And attack for 4. All right, down to 16, up to 20. The roles reverse here. 3 cards for my opponent. Obosh is still in the companion zone. All on you, opponent. So now they'll need Bolt, Lava Dart Bolt, or something like that. So that's 3 cards of their 4. Needs a lot here to get rid of the germ. One mana. Flame slashes away our Miriam. There you go. That's part 1. Soulscar Mage part 2. We'll Skyclave away the Soulscar Mage if given the chance. Lava darting us instead of shrinking the germ. Pretty okay with that. Lights the stage. Land has been found. Okay, they get to play a land. Alright, 1, 2, 3, Skyclave here. Skyclave to get rid of Soulscar Mage. They don't fire off a Lava Dart to shrink the germ here. I get to attack for 4, go to 22, and my opponent goes to 12. We have Flicker Wisp to flicker the Skyclave in case they play something else scary. Land for our opponent. Cantrips their Fiery Islet. Flame slashes away our germ instead. And puts Obosh into hand. I could flicker the Batterskull here. We just know it's Obosh in hand. Cantrip's Fiery Islet as well. Seems like an okay thing to cantrip here. 1 Lava Dart. Stoneforge Mystic, huh? So I can flicker Batterskull here to get it back. Or we can set up Stoneforge with an Aether Vial. I think in order to win this one, we're going to have to do the Aether Vial Stoneforge package here. This way I can go get something that gives me protection from red. If I top deck that land, we're in great shape. If I don't, we can flicker Batterskull and play the defensive game for a turn or 2. Obosh unknown card here. 6 mana for our opponent. 1 Lava Dart in the yard. Of the notable cards. Some Flame Slashes have been fairly good for our opponent as well. 4 Toughness is appearing to be pretty key. I won't claim it to be perfect, but it is pretty key right now. Dismember probably does too much damage to yourself. Unless you're in a shadow world. Kozilek's Return here. Alright, so I'm not getting the sword down. We have Skyclave making a 1/1. Obosh can't be played here. Cantrips, Fiery Islet, land drop. So Obosh is all we gotta beat. Aether Vial. So there's that land. We would have been able to put the sword into play. If I do Flicker Wisp here, Lava Dart's just going to die anyway. I think I'm just flickering a Batterskull here. And if I happen to get one more land here, I can Sword of Fire and Ice. We just have Obosh to beat here. So flicker Batterskull, give the turn back. Perhaps they Lava Dart the Flicker Wisp. Perhaps they don't. This is giving us the best chance to find extra land here. Sword of Fire and Ice cast and attached to Batterskull, which would make it a 6/6 pro red creature, which would probably be enough. We'll see though. Obosh played. A bolt would be rough. They cast a Firebolt to kill Batterskull here. And they cast a Lava Dart to kill Flicker Wisp and attacks for 1. Pretty good. Aether Vial goes up to 2. Opponent's in top deck mode. All right, we're going to play Archon here, pass the turn. Top deck land lets me equip Batterskull. Top deck land lets me play Sword and attach. My opponent can hit me for 6, 7 damage. Tapping for 4 mana here. Taps for 5 here for the Firebolt flashback, killing Emiria. Taps for 7 damage. We need to somehow keep a creature in play. Aether Vial up to 3. There's a Sunbake Canyon. Stoneforge. So not being patient to put the Archon in on 3 means the Firebolt goes upstairs instead of to me. Opponent stomps. It looks like they've just got enough removal. I need a path. And even that won't do it because we'll have 5 damage plus a Firebolt over here. No, they don't have a Firebolt. Aether Vial does not go up anymore. Just a Ghost Quarter. Cantrip. And we hit nothing. There you go. Prowess takes it from us. Prowess takes it from us. 1-4 overall. Not a great showing either for the taxes. Let's talk about this in the wrap-up. White taxes here. Did we run into bad luck? Am I just playing the list incorrectly? I don't really know. I feel like we have a reasonably strong understanding of what our role is, but executing it in our mulligan choices were probably very weak, to say the least. Probably the thing that I would take away from this is definitely be more aggressive with your mulligans. Try to get the Aether Vials out quicker because your creatures work better at a little bit more instant speed. And don't rely so heavily on the Stoneforge Mystic package when your opponent can just remove your Stoneforge Mystics. Generally speaking though, white taxes here seems to be fun. And we did take down the mirror match. So that's a win, sort of, for us. Set us off correctly, but then we kind of petered out pretty aggressively. Did we have the right things to be doing against, say, like Elves or the Prowess matchups? Our first Prowess matchup we perhaps lost because we maybe sideboarded incorrectly. Our second one we probably lost because we didn't aggressively mulligan in game number 2. So with those takeaways, do I think the list could do well? Absolutely. Is it going to be top tier? Perhaps not the straight white one, but the red-white one might be, with some of the other tools that you can bring in, or the green-white ones, depending on what flavor of taxes that you like to play. All that being said, this has been White Taxes for YouTube. Thank you all for the support. Always consider liking and subscribing, and we'll see you in the next matches.